Welcome to the Master The NEC Podcast, the ultimate destination for anyone passionate about the electrical trade. Whether you're a seasoned electrician, an eager apprentice, or just someone who wants to dive deep into the world of electrical work, you've come to the right place. Join your host, Paul Abernathy, a true authority in the industry with over 38 years of trade experience, as he electrifies your mind with in-depth discussions, expert tips, and valuable insights that will keep you ahead of the curve. Each episode, Paul will illuminate the complexities of the trade, decode the National Electrical Code, and share the latest industry trends, all while empowering you to take your electrical career to the next level. So, gear up, plug in, and get ready to supercharge your knowledge, because with the Master The NEC Podcast, the power is in your hands. Now get ready. Here is your host, Paul Abernathy.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Master the NEC Podcast, where I talk to you about the electrical code, career, business side of things, being an electrician and electrical contractor. As always, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me here on the podcast. Now, you can listen to this podcast from all of your favorite listening platforms, but we've also started adding these podcasts for free over on Fast Tracks Tube. So if you like our Fast Tracks program and you love the layout of our Fast Tracks Tube, which is our exclusive delivery system for podcasts and videos, it's unlike any other system. It's not like YouTube. It's totally proprietary. Check it out over on fasttrackstube.com or fasttrackstv.com as well. So check it out. We think you'll like it, and it's easy to stream it and listen to it straight from the phone, and it's mobile adaptive, means it changes to mobile view. Of course, you can still always listen to our podcast from your mobile device using our app. If you want to get our app, is available over on fasttracksystem.com. You'll see it in the navigation chain under info, the info tab. You'll see it talk about the mobile app. You can listen from there if you want as well. But anyway, we're glad that you're here. You're listening to the podcast from whatever platform it is. And today we're going to be talking about marketing a little bit and what you should be doing as an electrical contractor. Now, I get it. Some of you are early in your career. You just started into business and you're thinking, okay, how do I maximize my return on investment? And you've heard me talk about cheap ways or low-cost ways. I shouldn't say cheap. They're low-cost ways, very powerful ways to market yourself by canvassing neighborhoods, flyers, using Vistaprint to create certain things. And it's really targeting certain areas where you have a higher potential for return, especially if you're doing service work. But today I want to talk a little bit about some marketing, right? You know, we're going to talk about something that every electrical contractor should be doing in 2025. And most certainly, if you haven't been doing it, you need to make sure that you do this and create a marketing machine in 2026. So you've got time. When I'm recording this podcast, you got about 2 months before the end of the year. You got perfect time to set up a plan. Should always go in the plan of attack, what you're going to do for the next year, how you're going to market your business, promote your business. Be very frugal about it, but again, know where your strengths and weaknesses are. And that's what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to give you a pretty easy way to make sure that when you do get that call and you retain that customer and you potentially use that customer's valuable feedback to help you grow your business. So you've heard me talk in other episodes about the marketing approach and how you would do that, flyers and whatnot. So now we're going to do this one a little different. This episode is you've already captured the customer. You're already doing the work. You need to take it and multiply the effectiveness of that ROI from each customer, no matter how large or small you think they are. You may be the grandmama who you think's not going to tell anybody, but there is a positive way to get a very impactful outcome to every visit, every service call, every service change, every receptacle replacement. So there's a way to do it. And I'm going to talk about that in today's episode. So now, we're not talking about ads and billboards. We're talking about using simple QR codes, customer reviews, and smart timing to bring a real local business boost to your company. Well, you know, while you're already there, Well, you're already on the job. And it's so simple that you can teach your technicians to do this. You can do this. And you really do need to work this into your profile for your business. I'm just saying, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and you have got to be cutting edge. And sometimes the simplest approach can give you the biggest yields or reward. Okay, so let's grab your coffee, get your conduit bender, although we're not going to be bending any conduit today. Get it. Let's get ready to dive in. Now, as always, we're going to do this in segments. And so today's episode, we're going to break it down into 6 segments, and then we'll have a closing. But we're going to break it down, and I'll elaborate on each one and kind of give you some tips and ideas on how you can build your plan for the next year. Now, we're not going to be talking about how you do your neighborhood marking, your canvassing, and that type of thing. We're going to focus more now on the acquisition. You've already got the customer. You're going out and you're doing the work. How you can take that customer that you worked hard for, all that effort you did, and now magnify it. Okay. We're going to show you how to do that today. And it's simple approaches, very low cost approach to do this. Now, it should go without saying that we've done other podcasts that talk about negotiating skills, how to work with a customer, how to overcome problematic calls, how to be confident in your pricing, how to stay firm, be professional, and all this stuff. Assuming you listen to all those and you understand these concepts, and your company is kind of training yourself to be more soft skills approached, to be the smile and do be very tactful in how you address things rather than being escalated into a very unprofessional situation where you're arguing with your customer or you're coming across as more arrogant than you need to be. We talk about that in other episodes. So I encourage you to go to our podcast and listen to those other episodes. But today, let's talk a little bit about the empowerment of truth in market share, in return on investment, and all this kind of stuff. So let's start out with segment 1, and this is the power of review. So let's start with the truth. It's undeniable that word of mouth has gone digital. It used to be that your neighbor would tell a neighbor would tell somebody else, and the word of mouth was golden. Now, it could also be a double-edged sword. You don't understand how to deal with a customer. You come across wrong. You're not professional. You breach this thing where it's just, people say you can only make one first impression. Well, that's true, but you can actually recover from a bad impression if you understand how to do it. And we teach you that in soft skills courses that we offer. But at the end of the day, you have to understand, if I start out with a good impression, I do everything professional, then word of mouth is amazing, whether it's digitally or it's physically, okay? Somebody tells a neighbor, somebody tells a cousin, a friend, a brother, a sister, a mom, a dad, whatever. Word of mouth is still king, but at the end of the day, when someone in your town types electrician near me in Google, they're not just comparing prices, okay? I don't know if you're aware of this, and people think that price always wins. No, sir, that is not true. A professional-looking website, a professional-looking Google, Yelp, or Bing site with relevant information, references, referrals, all that type of stuff is sending a bigger picture these days. It's trust. And trust is built with reviews, okay? Now, I have people out there that say, I don't need any reviews. I'm doing fine. You may be doing fine. But if you're somebody out there that wants to take your business to the next level, you want to, so many multiply X values and really grow your business in a local community and be that go-to person for anything that's relevant to what you do, then you need to build the community trust, okay? And building reviews, I use reviews. I go to restaurants. Now, I give restaurants a second chance, okay? I might go somewhere and get a bad experience, but I get great service. Maybe I have bad food, but the service is great. I'll give them another chance, okay? That's just how I am. And I could have a good server take a bad experience with the food and turn that in from a 5-star into a 3-star with a caveat that maybe I'll give the food a try next time. But it's all about the experience, right? And reviews are taken that way. Every 5-star review pushes you higher in Google, Bing, and Yelp results, folks. I don't know whether you knew this or not, and it only takes one bad review to tank you, okay? And so it also builds credibility when someone checks your page before calling. And more people today are just going to search engines, Google, Bing, all of those, and just typing electrician near me. And again, those reviews matter, especially if you're somebody just starting out or you're trying to grow your business. You can be focused on this up front. And if you don't have a plan of attack and you haven't listened to my other podcasts that talk about how to avoid confrontation and then turn that frown upside down and actually get a repeat customer out of it, you need to listen to it. You need to go back and check it out because there's some powerful stuff in those episodes. Because what we want you to do is that not every call may work out perfect, but there is always an opportunity to leave that project or leave that job or leave that home or leave that customer feeling like they're compelled to give you a 5-star review, whether you ask them specifically for a 5-star review. Don't be afraid to ask, but make it worthy of their experience. Okay, you've gone there, you've given them a good experience, you look the part, you explain to them. I always tell people, give a summary of what you've done before you take money out of their hand. Let them know what you've done for them and that you appreciate them. Don't be afraid to say that you're a local business and that the reviews mean a lot because it's how you grow your business. And again, you're a small business, that type of thing. It's important that you go out of your way. People say, well, people don't want to hear all that. They do want to hear it. And I only want to interject this into their life for a short amount of time to get what I need to help my business grow and then have them have that lingering taste in their mouth of a good experience. Okay? So again, don't lose sight that every 5-star review pushes you higher in Google, Bing, and Yelp results. It also, again, builds credibility because people do check those, okay? But here's the problem. Most contractors wait for reviews that never come. The customers love your work, but forget to leave a feedback. You leave the job, life moves on, guess what? You never get the review. It's almost one of those things like we talk about the Zig Ziglar approach to sales. You've heard it. You're never going to get the sale if you don't ask for the sale. You're never going to get the review if you don't ask for the review. I'm serious, folks. You've got to stop being shy. You stop being assuming that you're going to get a review. You got to be very direct, but do it in a humble way that approaches the fact that you're trying to grow your business and they matter. The customer matters. And I'm not going to tell you what, but you may think that you're getting a service call, let's say, and you're getting one set price. That you think that actually, this is a mental approach. This is a mindset, folks. You think that one money that you just made is the gold mine to the end result. It's not. It's that rating. The money's great. It pays the bills. The rating helps bolster that return on investment. Other people see this, okay? And how you do it, how you approach it, and we'll talk about it, how you direct the customer to do it while you're there, it's going to also put that knowledge in their head that you're needed. You're a business that needs them. They're value to you. They're not just another customer. They're going to go out of their way to tell people. They're going to go out of the way to share a good experience with somebody else. And during that discussion, there's ways that you can do it to overcome any reservations they may have. So maybe you had a bad impression. You've worked your way back. You're getting it. Good impression. Everything seems happy. There are certain things that you can do at the end before you take that money that can take a 4-star and turn it into a 5, all based on how you interact with the customer. There is a way to do it, folks. So, look, here's the problem again. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So we're going to talk a little bit about method that I use and I teach with other people. I teach with my brother, is a QR code method, the simplest method to do it. And it's a way to do it while you're there. So here's my first tip for you. Never, ever leave a job site without planting a trail of digital breadcrumbs that lead back to your business. Folks, I'm serious. Every panel you do service work, you put a business card in there with a QR code on there so they can scan it. so that they can, if they have an issue, they open it up and they know exactly what electrician to call. Leave your fingerprint digitally, breadcrumbs on everything, every opportunity you can. I'm serious, folks. That's the first key. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about QR because we came up with a unique way of doing this that's pretty cool. And we do laser hat, or it doesn't have to be a hat, by the way, but they're designed for a hat. We do these metal hat clips. They're available in all different kinds of colors. You can get them. If you engrave, you have an engraving service, you can do that. If you do your own, if you have a laser engraver, we sell them on our website, fasttracksystem.com. And we will engrave your website. We will engrave a Linktree page that you may have, your Bing, your Google, your whatever, that they can click on while you're there. If you just do Google, then you can have a QR code that goes right to your Google page, review page, just like I did for my brother. Okay, so we engrave these on these little clips. They go on their hat, and every technician should have one, right? And that code will directly link you to the Google business profile, Bing profile, Yelp profile, or you could have it go to what's called a Linktree for free. You can get Linktree for free, and there you have all three of them. And what you can do also is if you want to offer a discount, you can offer $5 off for everyone that they give you a 5-star review while you're there. That way they're going to get an instant discount. They could get $15 off their bill, $5 off each. Who doesn't turn away free money? And if you make it so easy for them just to scan this QR and click and tap it, and it goes right to where they can give a 5-star review. We don't care if they want to put in any comment or not. I just want the 5 stars. If they want to give comments, that's great, but you want the 5 stars. Okay. So anyway, there's a way to do it. Makes it simple, that type of thing. But we believe in the QR code. Now, my brother just goes to his Google profile because that's all he uses, even though he won't listen to me when I say you need to make sure you have your Yelp, a Bing, and a Google on there. But Google's the predominant one, so that's who he chooses. I use Yelp a lot, so you make sure they're in Yelp, that type of thing. But anyway, this is easy stuff. Now, I don't want it where they have to type it in. That's your first tip. I do not want them to have to rely on them to type something in because people go, I don't want to do that. And those URLs are usually pretty long. Make it as easy as possible. Okay? Now, use it like a pro. I do not want, if you're going to be going after the listings and the 5-star ratings, first of all, if you have a website, do me a favor. Don't link, for this approach, do not link them to your homepage or your website because it gets too confusing. Do that on something else. Do that on a business card. Do that on something that you whatever. You can have a business card with that on there if you want to put that on there because you don't need a review. You already got it. You can put that on their panel, tape it on their panel, whatever. Okay, stickers. Get stickers made up, whatever. Don't have them go to your homepage because it gets too confusing. So don't send the customers to your webpage. They'll get distracted, and they won't take the time to search for where they would leave a review screen. It's just too much. Keep the process what I call friction-free. If you use like a link service, whether like I said with mine, I use Linktree, that type of thing, but have it go to a simple URL that is immediately where they're going to be able to put in a review, whether it's Google, Bing, Yelp, whatever, okay? Now, if you use a service like Linktree, then you can have it where all three of them are there. And so you can say, dude, you got an opportunity while I'm here, while I'm working out your invoice, you can get $5 off. If you give me a 5-star on Google, Bing, and Yelp, we'll give you. And they say, well, I don't want to give you a 5-star. That's okay. I mean, that's their prerogative. But if you've worked it right, they shouldn't have any problem because who doesn't want money off? You really want the review, folks. You really want the review. And it is worth it for me to get 3 5-star reviews. Okay? Trust me. It's well worth the discount you're going to be giving the customer, okay? But you have to make it as painless as possible or they won't do it, okay? Now, also, physically hand them the QR code, which in our case, it's on our hats. It's a little, y'all seen me in some of my videos. Y'all seen the little QR code that's stuck on my hat. So while you're finalizing the invoice and you're working and explaining how things work or you're doing the summary, you can say, hey, if you were happy with the service today and you don't mind scanning this real quick, leave us a short review. We'd love a 5-star review. It really helps out our business. Okay. It really helps our small business grow. Don't be afraid to say, I'd love a 5-star. Okay. Don't leave it up to, because people have a tendency to not want to give people 5 of anything. You know, I had one guy say one time, he was doing a safety review, and it was for work at Encore, and I was doing it, and I was talking to one of the VPs about this, and I was giving an employee that worked for me, and I had given him 5 stars for safety. And because he's every time I'm with him, his safety protocols are great. He wears the steel-toe shoes and doesn't use open knives, and he's great. And one of the supervisors said, or the VP said, we never give 5 stars for safety because there's always room for improvement. That may be true, but that's bullshit. When it comes to this, I want a 5-star freaking review, buddy. And I want to make sure that I go out of my way to give them the service, to give them that. I want to be open with them. I want to explain the summary. Hopefully you listen to my other podcasts. I'm explained what I did today, why my prices. And even if they have a negotiation or you have a conflict, you can turn that frown upside down. You still ask for a 5-star review. And if they'll do it right here, it's so easy. You can scan it. Boom. They can give the review right there. Easy peasy. Simple. And then you say, look, if you do this, I will give you, this discount off or whatnot. Now, how you work that, if you don't want to give a discount, you still want to ask for the review and take the chance to get, that's fine. But at least try it, okay? Just try it. Because at that moment, right after the work is done, they're the happiest they're going to be. It's golden. Buyer's remorse doesn't set in until they go, Jesus, I just paid $450 to have my breaker changed or a surge protected device put in. God, no, get it now. Don't wait for the review fairy to come along and sprinkle fairy dust on your review section of your listing, okay? Ask while the satisfaction is still hot, my friends. There's a way to do it. It may take a few extra minutes while you're there. It's going to reap benefits for you because you want to grow your business. Now, look, if you've got 20, 30, 40 electricians and you're the owner and you're like, I don't need to do that, I make enough money, that's you. Maybe I can't benefit you. I can't help you, but I can tell you right now, if I had 30, 40, 50 employees, I'd be training all of my employees to do this because you know what? I want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews, baby, because that's going to quickly push my company up the ladder. And the more money they make for me, the more money I make. And the more money I make, I can give more back to my employees. I can share the wealth. And reviews are a key to winning that Fieldworth gold mine. I'm just saying, it is. You can sit there and try to convince yourself it's not. That's fine. But I'm telling you it is. Now, let's think about field strategy. Now, when I say field strategy, this is something that we have to train our technicians. Okay, we have to train the people to getting 5-star reviews while you're there. Okay, so here's the playbook. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the playbook. I'll make this as easy as possible for you folks. Step 1, earn the review before you ask. Be punctual. Wear clean gear. Communicate clearly. Finish strong. Give a summary of what you did. Ask the customer questions and use pauses and silences. And again, get their responses that they're happy. If the customer's smiling when you're packing up, you're halfway there, buddy. If they're offering you drinks or something to drink or something like that they've already bought into you, just learn how to work that customer. Hey, it costs you nothing to be nice, prompt, courteous, professional. That's your job. You're getting paid. You get it? Now, step 2, ask personally. Look them in the eye. Keep it short and humble. Say, hey, if you were satisfied, a quick 5-star review goes a long way. It really helps us electricians here at the company who rely on local customers. It helps our business grow. And we're here to serve your community, right? You're asking them for it. Now, in their mind, they're always thinking, yeah, I'll do it later, whatever. I've already set the tone what I want. Now, some people say, that's not right. Don't ask for a 5-star review. Bullshit. Bull pookie. You ask for what you want, folks. How many of you have been in an Uber car and an Uber driver turns around and says, I'd appreciate a 5-star review? Why would I not give it if he gave me a good ride, good conversation, point A to point B, got me there safely. I know it helps their business. Why would I go out of the way to give something negative unless you're just a negative person? I'm giving them the best, baby. They got me from point A to point B safely. Maybe I didn't like the car. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a luxury car. I was in a Prius. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm married to the damn thing. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. Why would I give a bad review? Same here. You did a service. You explained it. They're happy. Ask for it. As Zig Ziglar always says, you're not going to get what you don't ask for. Okay? Now, step 3. Don't expect them to do it later. Don't wait for the fairy dust to gather on your review page. You need to do it now. Most people don't understand these electronics. They don't know how to do it. That's why we use that QR code, and it goes right where they need to go. So they just don't know how, and that means they won't. Hand them your hat clip. Show them your hat clip for your card. Let them scan that QR code into their phone. Wait for that phone to buzz. Done. You even want to use your own phone. You can scan it and say, here, I will use my phone because you may not want to put something in your phone, or I don't have my phone. It's okay. You scan it with yours. They'll fill out their information, put in their email address, whatever it is. Say, look, it's not for me. It's just for the review. You're going to have to practice how you do this, okay? You got to be able to overcome things. But again, you don't have any, there's no losses here. You're not losing anything. Maybe they don't do it and you're like, okay, you missed an opportunity. Okay. But you know what? You at least scan it into their phone or scan it or have a backup like your QR code on a card that says, thank you, your business means everything to us. And have the QR code right in the middle. That's the second approach, is you pull that card out and leave them with it and say at the bottom, we hope you enjoyed the service. We enjoyed your time we spent with you today. We would love a 5-star review. It helps us immensely. And that's a simple card. That's a courtesy card that you leave with them. Now, I like to do the QR code and get it right then. I don't like to leave things in their hand, but I had cards specially made up that were thank you cards that I would give them when I left that would kind of prompt them to scan this. Just make sure that when they scan it, it goes and makes it as easy as possible to give you this review. And then you have a 100% chance when you're there. And if they don't get it, then your odds drop. But at least if you leave this card, this thank you card, this how much I appreciate you, yada, yada, yada. We're here to serve the community. We're a growing small business. People will work and they might put that card down and they'll scan it later. If they don't know how to do it, they'll ask their significant other or their kid or somebody. Okay? Now, the card says 5-star review. You don't just give them a card with a Q and ask for a review and then they go look at it later and they gave you a 3 or 4. Ask it. Now, if they turn around and give you a 2-star review later, it is what it is, but you set the groundwork and you at least have to go there. Okay. You at least have to go there. Okay. Now say thank you right there. Thank you very much. That review helps me keep good pricing and serve the community and serve more people. And again, it allows our business to grow. That way we can spread our pricing amongst everybody and we can keep the prices down. Okay. Here's a tip. Make it human, right? Reviews, they don't come from apps. They come from appreciation. And so you need to explain your appreciation for it. Seriously, you do. Now, segment 4 today, we're talking about optimizing your Google and Bing business profiles. Okay, look, all said and done, if you don't have a nice looking Google and Bing profile, and these are so easy to fill these out. I have so many people I talk to who say, yeah, I do Google like Bing, and it looks like garbage. They don't have the information there that's relevant to the people, their hours of work, okay? Some information that helps the customer choose them. It's terrible. It's just like a website. You have to take the time to make it and fill out the information to look right. Now, I do a consulting business for contractors, and they will ask me to give them advice on their Google listing, their Bing listings, their Yelp listings, and I will look at it and I will do basically a 1-page summary of what I think they should change, how they should approach it. There's so many features in there that they should have. And there's also what's called intermixing, means it cross-linking. so that on your Google page, there's a link over to your Yelp. From your Yelp, there's a link to your Google, back and forth, okay? You need to make sure that these things are linked together, okay? That the links will go on a click. I'm just telling you. It also gives you SEO awareness, okay? There's a lot of different little tactics, okay? Now, let's take this up a notch for those profiles, okay? Your profiles themselves have to be ready for the traffic. So you update your hours, your photos, your service areas, any sample shots you want to give, your company photos, your vehicles, all those type of things. Google rewards active profiles. What does that mean? If you post a photo every few weeks, maybe your crew, your tools, maybe a finished job, it does affect the ranking when you post in something about electricians near me. It's active. It's not dormant. That's important. Google likes it. Now, when people do reviews, it makes it active. When you post pictures, hey, maybe on a job site, you ask the customer when you're having that conversation, you say, hey, can I get a picture with you? Maybe they're not comfortable with that. But if they are comfortable with it, that's a great testimonial. And now they feel obligated to give you a 5-star because they have a picture. Again, you got to warm that up. You got to know who feels comfortable with it. But be very personal with somebody. I'm just saying, it goes a long way. If you do anything with your company, you have a picnic, you have an outing, you promote somebody, you want to do a weekly shout out to one of your technicians or whatever it is, post it. Put it on your review. Stay active. Somebody in your company does it for you. If you do it, okay? I do all of mine. My brother does all of his, okay? Next, reply for every review, even bad reviews, because you know what? Even a bad review can basically win over future customers. Let me give you an example. Some people want to be just shitty. I'm just saying it. Some people are. They live within the disgust that is what is their life. And so you leave a card. You did great. Everything seems like a 5-star. You ask for a 5-star. They end up giving you a 3. Well, that's going to drag you down. 3's not all bad, neutral, but it's going to drag your 5-star down, right? So the more 5 stars you have, it balances out, right? But anyway, how you approach that review is critical. This is where people screw up. They get reviews and they don't comment back to their reviews. I don't care if it's a 5-star. I want to respond back. I want to say, thank you for your feedback. We're glad you're safe and powered up. Okay? We want to respond back and say, thank you for your service today. Or thank you for the opportunity to serve you today. It means a lot for us to serve our local community. We're a growing business in this community. We appreciate the 5 stars. What if I get a 3-star? You say, thank you for your feedback. It was a pleasure serving you today. I'm sorry you found our service was only a 3-star. Our goal is to always have 5 stars. So your feedback is very important to us. Feel free to call me personally and give your number because it's your business. Okay. In fact, you're like, well, I don't want to give my number. That bullshit, you don't. I want my number because somebody seeing that might say, dude, I'm just going to call this guy. This is a stand-up guy. Say, here's my number. I want to learn how I could do things better for you to get that 3 to a 5 next time. I appreciate you. You folks have no idea what that does. Now, you may say, well, that wouldn't work for me. You know what? There is hundreds of thousands of people out there. So don't think that it's like me doing SEO. I think everybody out there searching for exam prep by searching electrician exam prep. When I put it in the software that I have, freaking nobody's searching for it. But that's what I'm thinking I would search for. But nobody's doing that. So don't assume what other people will do. Don't assume that they think just like you. You need to think that not everybody thinks like you, and I want to cover all of my bases. Okay? That's the way you need to be thinking. Okay? So, bad review, good review, stay humble, stay supportive, give them an opportunity to tell you how you can improve. And you know what? Work on your listening skills because not everybody's going to be happy. You could have somebody call up and says, well, I thought the guy that came out here was arrogant. He was an asshole, blah, blah, blah. You can respond back to that and say, I am so sorry. We will work harder within our company to make sure that we're more customer-centric and that your response is going to be used in upcoming training so that we can make sure that we focus on 5-star service to everybody, including you in the future. I hope that you give us an opportunity to turn that 3 into a 5 in the future. I'm going to tell you right now, I have seen people that have done this, and that 3, all of a sudden, mysteriously later, they go and update their review and they change it to a 5. It happens. It happens, folks. It happens. I'm just saying it does. So again, and then they may, some other customer sees that and goes, wow, dude, this is helpful. This is helpful. These people are, you know what? That's integrity. Dude, it does. It works, folks. But you're in business. You need to think like a business person. Stop thinking like, well, I'm the best in the world and it doesn't matter whether they like me or not. No. When you're out there trying to beat a dog-eat-dog world and you're trying to compete with the competition, you want to have a leg up. Courtesy, professionalism, empathy, all those things, understanding, desire to make the best effort for your customer doesn't mean you're kissing ass. That means you're a business person. That's what it means. Okay? So, your digital triangle builds SEO authority in your area by doing what? The next step is cross-linking everything. So your QR code should lead you to the Google business page, which links to your website, which links to your Yelp, which also links to your Bing profile. There's a way to do this in all of them, and it should be vice versa. When you're on your business profile, it should be prominent. If you're in a local market and you're trying to gain review, put it up front. If you're on your Yelp, make sure your website, make sure your Google profile, make sure your Bing profile link is there, and vice versa. Do this on all of them so that creates this digital triangulation, and it builds what's called SEO authority for local search optimization. Okay? Now, that's a fancy word, and it sounds complicated to many people, but it is not. It is how these search engines rank things, and with the reviews, with the optimization, with the information that you put in there. I mean, think about it. SEO, when Google is the largest search engine out there. And a lot of people that function on SEO, and I'm guilty of that. I function to get my websites, and my websites don't show up very well because we have poor SEO. And it's really hard to get good SEO because there's so many factors that it's looking for. And if Google changes an algorithm, you either drop in listings or you increase in listings. Now, local SEO is less frivolous, okay? Or I shouldn't say frivolous. It's less frugal. If that's the best way to say that, it's less frugal. Because what it does is that it's looking for the parameters of a good listing, good reviews, number of reviews, and SEOs that have a good, between all of them, a good triangle of authority. And that's why you're focusing on the big 3. Google, Bing, and Yelp, okay? So your online presence is your new service truck, if you will. Make sure it's clean, make sure it's branded, and it's easy to find. And people using a QR code, make sure you get them where they need to be so they don't have to go through 4 or 5 steps because they're not going to do it. Okay, now, segment number 5. Tools of the trade, making your own QR system. Now, if you're ready to do this yourself, here's how you would do it. Just go get to some site that creates it, like QRCodemonkey.com or whatever. Create your QR code. A lot of the softwares and things you have today that does laser engraving, does QR codes. We do this in-house. Go to your link review, your Google link review link or Yelp and Bing link, okay? And make sure that you get the actual URL that takes you straight to the Google review for your company. Same with Bing. Same with Yelp. Find that link or create something like a link tree or tap link where you can have, where they go to a URL that doesn't change. So you can put that on your QR code. They go there and there's 3 buttons on there. One says Google, one says Bing, one says Yelp. And when they click those, that goes directly to the review page. So instead, there's 1 step in here, but they have the opportunity to do all 3. Now, I use a tactic where I'm going to say, look, I give you $5 off for each one of these. And so while you're there, you get them to do it while you're there. You don't mind waiting, okay? I don't mind waiting, saying you're not being charged for this. We're done. But this really helps my business and I'm going to give you some money off. However you want to do it, maybe you feel better at doing 5% off of the bill if they do all three, however you want to work it. But you need to develop a pattern in how you work it and train your people to use this. You want these reviews, folks, and you want to make it as easy as possible. Right? Now, in our case, we create these clips. They're really inexpensive. We'll do all the work for you. We'll send you the clip. It's really cheap. It's like $14, dude. All that type of stuff. You just send us the links you want on it or how you want it. We'll even help you create a link tree page if you want with all of them on it. We'll help you out. Okay. So in that scenario, that's what's going to help you, and you work with your customer that way. Okay. So you'll be amazed how the customers actually will scan it. They're interested in it and they'll get involved in it. They want the discount. Okay. Who doesn't want discounts, right? So if you can label a panel, you can label your brand. And I say this to people all the time. If you're ever doing service work, by the way, this is kind of a little extra segment. If you're ever doing service work and you're doing it, whether you fix a receptacle, if you're not going down and putting a business card with your QR code to your website or to your link tree with your company website and your Bing, Google, and Yelp, if you're not doing that, you're missing one hell of an opportunity. Because I'm going to come and tell the customer, say, if you ever need me, there's a card in your panel and it's right there. So it has all the information you need to reach out to me. Now, I'll tell you one other tip. This is a bonus that I wasn't going to include this in here. But for those that do the link tree thing, which is really easy and free to do, I also will put referrals on there to other contractors, other plumbing, mechanical, things like that I trust. Now, I formed a relationship when I was in contracting. I knew a plumber that I liked, and I agreed with him, and he followed the same plan. And basically, he would refer me as the electrician. I would refer him as the plumber. We had the same thing for an HVA, had the same thing for a realtor, had the same thing for a handyman. This time. So you can develop your own network and share it back and forth through this link tree. And it all can start with a simple QR code. And you get the opportunity to explain, to say, hey, I'm going to do you a favor. Since you trusted me, I'm going to tell you that I have people I trust, okay, in this industry. I know them. I know their work. I'm going to give you a quick link to them here in this link tree that you can get by just scanning this QR code. I'm going to give you the best plumber, the best mechanical, the best builder, the best, whatever in your network. And basically, this is a giver's gain approach. You're only going to do those that are willing to do the same for you. If they're not willing to do the same for you, then you remove them from the link tree. You don't have to change the QR code. You just remove them from the link tree. It's a beautiful thing, folks. I'm going to do a video one day and show people exactly how to do it. It's beautiful. And if you work it right, it's really powerful, okay? But you should be branding yourself. You should be putting your name on the panel, your card with your Linktree QR. You should be doing. Don't expect people to type in a URL, folks. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Now, if you're high tech like me, I have NFC, near field communication cards, which is basically they just hold their phone near it and it'll send them right there. So it's without having to scan it with their camera. They just hold their phone near it. The only problem with that is they have to turn on NFC in their phone. Some of them it's on by default. But again, the card will say turn on your NFC in your settings. Or you just have a QR code and it says open your camera. And all the cameras today will do it and the link will come up. So that's the easiest approach. So QR codes are powerful. The problem is you can't change a QR code once it's done. So that's why I say send them to Linktree. So that there you can customize the links that they click on. Very powerful. Now, if you only care about Google listings in your area, then instead of doing all that, just have it just go straight to the Google listing where you can give a review. That's it. It's up to you, but do it. Do it. So why all this matters? Listen, big companies spend thousands of dollars on marketing, some of them millions. But you, as an independent electrical contractor or what other trade that may be listening to this, already have the best marketing tool in the world. Your satisfied customer. Every 5-star review becomes a 24/7 salesman that never takes a lunch break, folks. It's always working for you. People are now looking at reviews. Why do you think there's Bing and Google and Yelp? Why do you think all these reviews are out there? Because people use it. I use it. Every QR code that you hand out, that you get a customer to scan, is a digital handshake that says, thanks for trusting us. Build this habit into your daily routine. Train your staff on how they approach it. Use it as a closing when you're doing a summary. If you've already factored a price into your pricing that already covers that $5 off each one, like $15. So maybe you're already $15 higher than but again, work it into your price so you understand that it's not a loss for you, but it's a benefit to them. Work it in. However you do that, work it into that sales approach, because the contractor who builds their online credibility today will own their local market share tomorrow, folks. You will. You will. So here's a takeaway. Here you go. Here's my challenge to you folks out there that's listening. Create your QR code system, whether you use ours and we help you out and we show you how to do it. We'll be your mentor. Engrave or print it on something physical, hat clips, business cards, whatever. And business cards, have it printed on there. Have it go to the Linktree unless you're just trying to focus on one thing like Google. I prefer you to do my approach to Linktree or something like that. That's fine. Ask for one review per day. If you're not going to do it on every call, at least force yourself to do it on one so that you can gauge your response, so you can gauge your success. I would say jump all in, right? Jump in the deep end and make sure you work it into your plan. And for you owners who have technicians, this takes some training approach. You can train your employees to be much more approached when it comes to customers, a much more softer approach, a gentler approach, soft skills, increase your ROI. Okay. It can happen. And that's what you want. You're in business. So in 30 days, you'll have 30 new reasons for customers to trust you. And that, my friends, is how you write the Business for Success manual, is to keep your customers happy, give them a way to share their positive review, and they'll go out of their way to tell other people. And of course, their listing online will be there 24/7 working for you. All right? All right, folks, stay sharp. Stay into it. We appreciate you. Hopefully you got something out of this episode. And again, all these tips and techniques have taken me nearly 40 years to come up with the approach. You have the opportunity to put them in play right now. Till next time, folks, make sure you listen to all of our podcasts. You can listen on any of your favorite platforms, or now you can listen to our podcasts over on Fast Track's Tube for free. But there's many places you can listen, even in our mobile app from fasttracksystem.com. Till next time, stay safe. God bless.
Thanks for tuning into another electrifying episode of the Master The NEC Podcast. We hope you're feeling more powered up and ready to tackle the electrical world with the knowledge and confidence you need to succeed. Remember, in the electrical trade, knowledge is power, and we're here to make sure you stay plugged into the latest insights, tips, and code updates. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with your fellow electricians and industry pros. Until next time, keep your tools sharp, your circuits clear, and your mind focused, because here at the Master The NEC Podcast, we're all about sparking your success. Stay safe, stay smart, and keep mastering the trade. From all of us here at Electrical Code Academy, thank you for all your support, and we will see you on the next amazing Master The NEC Podcast episode.